Hello, welcome back to Valentine's Culinary School. Today I want to talk about another piece of critical kitchen equipment, the mortar and pestle. I've got three varieties here to show you. We've got porcelain, stone, and wood. All work quite well, depending on what you're doing, honestly. I think this is a lovely piece of olive wood, it looks like, and this makes it very easy to grind whole spices and mix them. And you also get the pulverization or pestling of the spices releases the essential oils in the spices and allows them to blend and releases the aromas. So this food becomes more aromatic. If you want to have tasty food, you have to have the right spices. And I especially like to specialize in sauces, and sauces are all about both the consistency and the flavor. So you have to know what's going on with your spices. The best way to use spices is whole spices and then grind them as you use them, because if you have pre-ground spices, they're going to oxidize very quickly, they're going to lose a lot of their flavors, they're going to lose a lot of their nutrients. So ultimately you want to pestle your ingredients immediately before you're about to use them. Sometimes you might want to do like a large batch of Thai curry paste. In that case, you would want something more like this. I love the fact that this is so weighty, it's not going to go anywhere when you're grinding away at it. But the downside is this thing came with a terrible pestle, and I have to replace this because this is very not ergodynamic. It works for a few small things, you know, going around trying to grind things. So usually you like you do a rolling motion at the first to say like you're breaking up some peppercorns or some allspice berries, whatever you might happen to have, and then as the blend starts to get finer, then you can start to go into the roll or the stir kind of motion, a roulade. If you're just using for just small things, this works great. Again, you have kind of an ergonomic issue, at least if you have large hands like I do. This can be a problem, but this is actually, try it out first, see how it feels. Like, I had one of these before, and I actually bought a larger pestle for it, just to have improved ergonomics and a little bit more weight behind it. But since I had moved away from Hawaii, and I'd already bought this, so I gave it to one of my good friends there as a gift, because I had bought this to replace it, even though it has this. So someday I'm gonna have to go to a Chinese professional restaurant shop, which is where I got the one previous to this. This is kind of a more industry, or I should say consumer grade version of what I had before. If you want to buy gear, restaurant supplies are often a really good place to go to buy gear that is pretty much indestructible. The downside is a lot of times they don't really care so much about, one, how it looks, and two, the overall health impacts. So like they'll sell you lots of aluminum cooking gear with no coating on it, which is probably a recipe for Alzheimer's. That's why I stick with only steel or iron cookware. Porcelain's fine too. Any clay bakeware, those are all good. Glass, but you really want to make sure there's not going to be anything harmful that's going to be in your cooking utensils when you're cooking. So I think that about covers it for the mortar and pestle. Obviously you can use all different kinds, and you can mix and match, like you could use this and this and it would be fine. But ultimately you really want to try and match the materials just so that they wear evenly and one isn't wearing out the other too much. But if anything, have a much harder mortar than your pestle, not the other way around. Otherwise it's just going to wear out really fast. So I hope that was helpful. It's an essential piece of kitchen gear. Everyone should have one. And I'll see you in the next video. May you be blessed. May you eat well and be well. May all beings have unconditional love for all beings.